Here's your General Hospital spoilers sneak peek at some of the action that will take place in Port Charles the week of September 1st to 5th, 2025. Be sure to tune in to ABC each weekday to see how it all plays out. Rick and Ava make a plea. Dante confronts Anna. Brooklyn seeks out Cody. Laura gives Lulu food for thought. Brad makes an outrageous request. A shocking act of violence occurs. Carly issues a warning. Michael is dismayed. Elizabeth advocates for Willow. Sunny delivers grim news. Michael confides in Brooklyn. Lucas cautions Liz. Anna and Dante respond to a 911 call. Portia makes an announcement. News of a crime sends shockwaves through Port. Charles, Anna, and Chase interview suspects. Trina is shaken. Nina makes a risky move. Curtis confides in Jordan. Jason is shocked. Jocelyn and Vaughn fear for their lives. Brennan manipulates Anna. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers update for Friday, August 29th. Hints that Britt Westbourne's search will bring a shock, while Drew Kane has his next traitor lined up. Willow Tate will also play defense as she explains her situation to Elizabeth Baldwin. So let's discuss what's ahead on the ABC soap. At the Five Poppies Resort, Britt will be apprehensive about something. Perhaps Britt will sense that Pascal is up to no good and follow him as a result. If that's the case, Britt could be the one who discovers Vaughn and Jocelyn Jax on Friday's show. Jocelyn will plead for help when someone appears in the doorway, so Britt could get a chance to free the hostages. However, Britt will have to be careful since her medication could be withheld if she's not on her best behavior. There's also the potential for Britt to call Jason Morgan using the burner phone he provided if she needs backup. At GH, Trina Robinson might get an eyeful if she walks in on all the sizzling happening between Portia Robinson and Isaiah Gannon. Regardless, Trina will end up clashing with Portia, who'll deflect blame in this Drew mess. It looks like Trina will think Portia needs to take some responsibility for her actions, though she'll obviously remain most irritated with Drew. Later, Trina will ask Kai Taylor for assistance, presumably on her plan for Drew's takedown. Kai may be in the prime position to help Trina since he still works for Drew, but can Trina convince him to turn against his boss? Kai cares about Stella Henry, so the fact that Drew set her legal chaos in motion could be a huge deal for him. Maybe Kai could be next in line for traitor status. Over with Stella, she'll come clean to Jordan Ashford about her worst fear. Stella knows Curtis is outraged and that he could cross the line when it comes to making Drew a revenge target. That may be why Stella will ask Jordan for help on Friday's GH episode. Stella will play up Jordan's bond with Curtis and perhaps argue she's the only one who can stop him from making things worse. In the meantime, Curtis will dish out another fatal warning in Drew's office. As the conflict escalates, Curtis will make it clear that Drew's a goner if he doesn't back off. Afterward, Drew will turn his attention to Carly Spencer, but she may reject his claims about Sonny Corinthos bribing Judge Heron. Drew may want Carly to persuade Michael Corinthos on his 50-50 custody demand, but Carly will shut him down. We'll see Carly make some troubling comments about Drew reaching the end of the line, so grave danger could be looming. At the hospital, Willow will come clean to Elizabeth about the deal she agreed to. Sadly, Willow is willing to go back to Drew if he keeps his promise to return her children to her. Liz will sound the alarm and worry about Willow getting tangled up in more Drew turmoil, but Willow will defend her plan. This could be Willow's best strategy when it comes to seeing Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos again, so she'll feel obligated to take advantage of it. As for Harrison Chase, he'll become Willow's #1 defender when more complaints arise. Chase won't let anyone badmouth Willow since he thinks she's a good person and a great mom. Down by the docks, a body will surface in the water. It'll be Danny Morgan who first sees that body and alerts Rocco Falconeri, standing next to him. Although Drew might be a possible floater, someone else seems more likely now that Jen Sidwell has hinted about going after Judge Heron. Will the judge become a corpse who's silenced and never reveals Sidwell's role in all the bribery drama? General Hospital spoilers reveal that fans are demanding Willow Tate's mental health treatment and calling it the only path forward for her character. Social media has been blowing up with complaints about Willow as she continues making bad decisions and letting herself get manipulated. since Drew Kane held Nina Reeves responsible for the sizzling secret they kept. That gave Willow another reason to lash out at her mother. Drew has done nothing but cause pain and destruction for Willow, but she was willing to strike a deal with him anyway in the August 27 episode. If Drew can get Willow's kids back, she's willing to give him the reunion she wants. We can understand Willow's desperation on some level, but she's bargaining with the very person who's caused her so much heartbreak. Willow's life started crumbling the moment she started falling for Drew. Although Drew has proven over and over that he can't be trusted, Willow's letting herself get tangled up in his twisted web once more. Willow knows for a fact that Drew was willing to do things like lie to wily Corinthos and mess with his emotions, but she went to him for help anyway. The longer this storyline goes on, the more unstable Willow looks. Willow honestly doesn't need to be treating patients in her current state, especially after the way she impulsively whacked Lucas Jones at the hospital. We can't forget about Willow's decision to stalk Daisy Gilmore and drive her out of town, along with Sasha Gilmore Corbin either. Whether Willow lands at Shadybrook, Ferncliff, or another facility instead, she obviously needs some mental health treatment. Willow has spiraled out of control and could use some professional help. Although Willow has always had some issues due to her cult upbringing, she was previously a far stronger character who was intelligent and kind. Willow is now a shell of her former self. So many GH fans are calling for some mental health treatment to get her back on track. Would you be able to root for Willow again if she got some treatment and became a better version of herself? Do you think that's the path to redemption for Willow? On General Hospital, Michael Corinthos and Drew Kane are nephew and uncle. They used to be close friends and business partners, but are now bitter rivals as Michael is part of the legion of Port Charles citizens who have an axe to grind with the corrupt congressman. In the past year, Drew has stolen Michael's wife, Willow Tate, and is now trying any number of underhanded tricks to get Willow full custody of her children with Michael, Wiley, and Amelia. Drew's latest plan involves the $1 million given to the judge who gave Michael full custody of the children. Drew assumes that Sonny Corinthos paid off the judge, and on the August 28th episode, Drew tried to blackmail Michael into giving Willow custody of the children to keep him from revealing that. Neither Drew nor Michael knows yet that Jens Sidwell was the real source of the bribery money. Drew and Michael had a tense standoff in Michael's office at Aurora Media over this, and Michael sent Drew away without giving in to his demands. Like many General Hospital characters in Port Charles, Michael hates Drew now and may want to kill him. But in real life, their portrayers, Rory Gibson and Cameron Matheson, are buddies. Gibson weighed in on their partnership in a Soap Opera Digest interview this week. It's basically just me and him death staring at each other the whole time and seeing who's going to blink first and trying so desperately not to blink, Gibson said. But then the second the cameras are off, he's just such a nice, cool guy. He's such a good conversationalist. He's so personable. He's so friendly. He's just a great dude. A great dude that does a really, really good job at playing a not great dude. Gibson had similar things to say about McMullen, who plays Michael's ex-wife, Willow Tate. Since Gibson took over the role in May, Michael's relationship with Willow has been nothing but conflict. They have been battling for custody of Wiley and Amelia from the moment Gibson walked into the nurses' ball and took Wiley home. They have argued about her relationship with Drew, and Michael has figured out that Willow was the person gaslighting Sasha, causing her to leave town with Michael's newborn daughter, Daisy. Gibson wasn't playing Michael when he and Willow had a happy marriage on General Hospital, but he clearly gets along with McMullen. They have occasionally posted fun behind-the-scenes shots on their Instagram accounts. In the SOD interview, Gibson noted that his permanent dressing room is next to both Matheson's and McMullen's, and that he loves both of them. Who gets hurt? A classic episode of General Hospital airs on Labor Day. Monday's repeat is from earlier this year. Originally airing on January 31st, 2025, the episode features Rick and Ava making a plea, Dante confronting Anna, Brooke Lynn seeking out Cody, Laura giving Lulu food for thought, and Brad making an outrageous request. New episodes of GH return on Tuesday, September 6th. Spoilers include Sonny delivering grim news, and a shocking act of violence occurs. It should come as no surprise to find out that a shocking act of violence occurs. A couple of acts have already happened recently. Ava hit Rick over the head with Alexis's paperweight, and Sidwell targeted Maxie, and now she's in a coma. Look for the violence to continue. Sidwell needs to do damage control after Marco let the cat out of the bag about bribing a judge in Michael's and Willow's custody case. And now the body of the judge showed up in the water at the docks just like that. One guess as to who will be framed for what happened to her. Meanwhile, Sonny delivers grim news. Who's he delivering this news to? Michael? Drew is going around town unleashing threats, warnings, and insults. At this point, he feels he can say anything to anyone just so he can be the hero and get Willow's kids back for her. Well, after learning the way Drew's putting the screws to Michael, Carly issues a warning. Who does she warn? Speaking of Michael, he is understandably dismayed. Drew is trying to make it seem like his dad bribed the judge to rule in favor of Michael getting full custody of Amelia and Wiley. And now it looks like the judge is dead. What will the fallout from this be, and how will it impact Michael? Can Britt help GH fans move past Jason and Sam? There's no denying that Sam McCall was Jason Morgan's soulmate, the woman he truly loved through thick and thin. And although the couple were apart when Sam unexpectedly died, General Hospital viewers never gave up hope of the pair one day reuniting. However, now that Sam's gone, fans have no choice but to let go, and Britt might be the one woman who can make them move past Jason and Sam. In many ways, Britt is a lot like the late Sam, so Jason's attraction to her makes perfect sense. She's totally his type, a woman who's tough as nails and doesn't take any guff from anyone. So watching Jason move forward with Britt is a logical and natural choice. Aside from Britt and Sam's gritty exterior, the two characters also share a shady background. Sam was originally introduced as a con artist from a troubled past, who was willing to work any angle to get her mark. Britt was a manipulative bad girl from the get-go, the conniving doctor quickly earning the name the Britch around the hospital. And let's not forget the two women's dark family ties. While Sam was the daughter of late mobster Julian Jerome, Britt's father was late supervillain Cesar Faison, and her mother is the once lethal, but now reformed, Liesl Obrecht. After getting to know one another, Britt and Jason quickly emerged as kindred spirits. They forged a deep connection as friends when Jason supported Britt through her diagnosis with Huntington's disease. That friendship turned to romance while they were on the run together in 2020, and eventually became lovers. Unfortunately, things abruptly ended between the pair when Jason chose to marry Carly to protect the family business. The move left Britt stunned and out in the cold and ended their promising relationship. Jason's presumed death in 2021, followed by Britt's presumed murder in 2003, appeared to forever end things between the duo before they really got started. However, now that they're both alive and well, and Jason tracked Britt down in Croatia, there's an opportunity to resurrect things between them. Fans seem totally on board with the storyline, appreciating the connection between Burton and Thiebaud and their two characters, as well as the potential of having a new couple to root for. Britt knows how to stand up to Jason the way Sam once did. She's sassy and stoic, and probably one of the few characters on the GH canvas who can handle Jason's unique bond with Carly. And Jason, who's always been attracted to strong women, needs Britt back in his life. Steve Burton hasn't had a love interest since he returned to GH in 2024, so it's a move that's long overdue. Plus, it's clear that Jason and Britt still have lingering feelings for each other. The time is right to explore those feelings and delve into a Jason-Britt relationship head-on, and finally leave the memory of Jason and Sam behind. General Hospital recap for Thursday, August 28th reveals that Michael Corinthos rejected Drew Kane's shared custody demand, while Portia Robinson and Isaiah Gannon sizzled behind closed doors. At the Quartermaine mansion, Martin Gray gave Tracy Quartermaine updates on Drew, causing Stella Henry's arrest drama, and pushed for her help. Tracy agreed she'd help Stella, but she insisted her actions would be separate from Martin's efforts. At the police station, Brooke Lynn Quartermaine told Dante Falconeri about her encounter with Giovanni Gio Palmieri at the church, where he could use more support on his adoptive mom's birthday. Dante eventually joined Gio there and made progress with him by telling a sweet story from when Gio was a baby. Gio wasn't interested in being close with Dante, but he still seemed to appreciate Dante's apology over everything that happened when Rocco Falconeri was hospitalized. Back at the PCPD, Alexis Davis showed up to help Stella with her legal drama in the interrogation room. Trina Robinson also spoke to Sonny Corinthos about Drew being to blame for Stella's ordeal, so Sonny told Alexis that Drew would get what was coming to him. At Windermere, Jen Sidwell was livid after Marco Rios confessed to blabbing to Drew about the judge bribery. Marco knew Drew would act on it and predicted Michael would turn against Sonny, who'd lose his son. That was justice for Natalia Ramirez, as far as Marco was concerned. Sidwell had wanted to use this leverage for Sonny's peers, but Marco didn't care about those. Even so, Sidwell fumed over Marco's error in judgment and felt they now had to focus on any blowback they might face. Sidwell stressed the importance of getting to Judge Eva Heran before Sonny did. In Portia's office at GH, she blew up at Curtis Ashford since she felt his heart had always belonged to Jordan Ashford. Curtis got riled up and admitted he'd been trying to bury all his resentment toward Portia so they could be a family again. But it clearly wasn't working. Curtis finally decided he needed to go deal with the Stella situation, but Portia thought he wasn't willing to fight for them. If Curtis walked out that door, Portia insisted it'd mean their marriage was over. Curtis indeed walked out, so Portia smashed a framed photo from their wedding day and began trying to get her ring off. Meanwhile, Isaiah blew up at Jordan over her lingering connection to Curtis and felt that they'd never really had a chance as a couple because of her feelings for him. Afterward, Isaiah joined Portia in her office and found her still struggling with her ring. As Isaiah tried to settle Portia down, he took her hands and got the ring off. Moments later, passion erupted for Portia and Isaiah, so they made out as the clothes started coming off. Portia's ring ended up on the floor next to the remnants of the smashed wedding photo frame. After Drew showed up at Aurora, he warned that Michael was going to let Willow see the kids and apologize. Drew added that Michael would tell the children he made a mistake and would agree to share 50-50 custody with Willow. If Michael didn't cooperate, Drew vowed to expose the $1 million payment to Judge Heran from the night before they went to court. Drew blamed Sonny for the bribery and felt certain that the original custody ruling would be thrown out. Drew also hinted about using his influence to get a more favorable judge the next time around. Michael refused to go surrender to Drew and assumed that if any proof existed, it was bogus. Now that Drew was working this angle, Michael suggested he'd push back the visitation hearing indefinitely. As Drew left, he got Kai Taylor on the phone and sought help finding Carly Spencer. Once Drew made it back to his own office, he left Willow a hopeful voicemail. Curtis barged in and cut off the call since he had a threat to deliver. If Drew didn't end this crusade against his family, then Curtis vowed to end Drew. Back with Michael, he summoned Sonny and gave him news on Drew's claims about the bribed judge. Sonny insisted he was innocent, which is what Michael already thought. Although Sonny felt they had to get answers from Judge Heran, Sidwell was seemingly already plotting to get rid of her and bury his involvement. Rory Gibson revealed the real story of what happens once the cameras stop rolling and the laughs that can be heard. Ever since returning from a German burn clinic, Michael has had bags of drama to deal with on General Hospital. His uncle, the nefarious Congressman Drew Kane, has gone to great lengths to destroy Michael's life and anyone close to him. Drew recently threatened that he would let Sonny take the blame for bribing a judge if Michael didn't give Willow full custody of the kids. As the tension between the two mounts, the truth behind the scenes tells a much different story about the two actors who bring the feud to life. Rory Gibson admitted to Soap Opera Digest that the sharp difference between what fans see on screen and what happens once the cameras stop rolling is almost comical. "It's kind of funny," grins Gibson, of the sharp contrast between his on- and off-screen dynamic with Drew's Cameron Matheson. Often, what ends up happening between Drew and Michael is that they end up death-staring at each other, with neither one willing to blink first and give in. "It's like, 'No, man, I'm gonna win this situation,'" he remarked. But the animosity remains on camera, because when they stop rolling, he described Matheson as being just such a nice, cool guy. He compared having Matheson as a scene partner to working with Caitlin McMullen. Gibson explained that when he and McMullen have scenes, "I feel like we're just screaming at each other, and then behind the scenes it's just like laughs and hugs and high fives." Before the two have to work together, he explained that they go from the laughs to, "Let's go to war." He praised Matheson further as being a great dude that does a really good job at playing a not great dude. He remarked that Matheson's performances always impress him. When he finds himself in a situation where Michael has to face off against both Drew and Willow, it can feel like being in enemy territory. But once the cameras stop rolling, they yuck it up like old friends. General Hospital spoilers and updates tease that Colette Moreau might be discovered floating in the water. Rocco Falconeri and Danny Morgan are about to encounter a horrifying scene, so is it possible that Colette is the person they find? GH's preview video for the week of August 25 to 29 features Danny and Rocco shocked by a body found in the water. It seems likely that someone is on the verge of a dire outcome, but who will it be? Colette stands out as a disposable character who could fit the bill given the situation. It appears that Colette's days may be numbered, especially since she is covertly opposing the WSB. Recently, Colette provoked Jack Brennan in his office, resulting in what can only be described as a death threat in reply. Nonetheless, Brennan might not be the prime suspect if Colette turns out to be the floating body, since he and his team ensured that Cyrus Renault vanished without a trace. They also tidied up the aftermath when the fake nurse assassin targeted Sonny Corinthos in that LA hospital. In other words, if Brennan truly wanted Colette out of the picture for good, we'd like to believe he wouldn't be careless enough to allow her body to be discovered. Brennan appears to be clever and efficient enough to simply make Colette disappear, never to be seen or heard from again. Also, it seems that when agents kill someone in self-defense or otherwise, there's never a trace think that would-be assassin who Jocelyn Jacks killed, saving Vaughn's life. Additionally, Brennan is not yet aware of the full scope of Colette's dubious actions, making it too early for him to take any steps against her. Nevertheless, there is another individual who may have a reason to eliminate Colette, who made her appearance at Windermere towards the conclusion of the August 26th episode. Sidwell clearly stated that he does not report to Colette or Pascal, indicating his disdain for Colette's haughty demeanor. Colette was inquiring about updates for their shared associate, who is seemingly the enigmatic boss that has been the topic of much speculation. With Colette now in Sidwell's residence and already demonstrating her ability to irritate him, it seems that trouble may be on the horizon. Even though viewers didn't see Sidwell toss Colette off a parapet when she was there, he could put a hit out on her. There are many complex situations Sidwell's involved in where if the body isn't Colette's, it could be someone else's. Still, with her smart mouth, Colette is asking for trouble. Or, the body in the water could be a means to frame Sonny Corinthos or Michael Corinthos for murder. That might mean the body belongs to someone else, not Colette, since she has no connections to the Corinthos family. General Hospital spoilers tease Ava Jerome, Christina Corinthos Davis, and now Alexis Davis are forming a shocking alliance to cover up a violent blunder. In a heated clash at Alexis's house, Ava bashed Rick Lansing over the head with a cement paperweight, knocking him unconscious, with Christina as a shaken witness. Knowing he's alive, the trio hauled him to Alexis's basement, binding him to a gurney. Alexis, already mired in crime and blackmail, joined in their pact to keep Rick captive, and now they must figure out their next move. With Molly Lansing Davis inches from sensing trouble, will this trio's risky plan hold, or will it unravel Port Charles? Ava's attack on Rick, driven by his relentless blackmail over Christina's brake-slicing stunt, left him out cold but breathing. Alexis, stumbling upon the scene, reluctantly joined the cover-up to protect her daughter, forming a fragile alliance. Panicked, they dragged him to the basement, tying him up to buy time. The trio's plan, keep Rick hidden until they decide whether to free him or spin a story, hinges on secrecy. Ava's experience growing up in the mob, Christina's frayed nerves, and Alexis's legal know-how make a volatile mix. But one slip, like Rick wiggling loose or a neighbor's suspicion, could blow their scheme wide open. Christina, already reeling from family feuds, is rattled by her role in Rick's captivity, her guilt threatening to push her toward a breakdown. Ava may push for control, urging a tight-lipped strategy, while Alexis grapples with balancing maternal loyalty and her ethical limits. Molly, Rick's fiercely loyal daughter, could unravel everything if she notices his absence. Missed calls or a gut feeling might spur her to dig. If Molly confronts Christina, the sisters' fragile bond could snap. Alexis's basement hideout is a ticking time bomb, and any hint of Rick's presence could spark a crisis that tests the trio's resolve. The alliance teeters as they debate Rick's fate. Release him with a cover story or double down on keeping him stashed. If Rick triggers an alarm to anyone, he could weaponize his ordeal, targeting Ava, Christina, and Alexis with legal or personal vengeance. Alexis's legal instincts make her a wild card. Will she push for a deal to free Rick as time wanes on, or risk it all for Christina? Molly's suspicions could lead to a showdown, while outsiders like Sonny Corinthos might catch wind of the drama. Will this pact hold, or will Rick's captivity unleash a Port Charles firestorm? Can Ava, Christina, and Alexis keep this secret locked in the basement, or will it explode? Stay tuned for more GH news and spoilers to find out. It's going to be a week filled with drama in Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers for September 5th tease that Sonny has some grim news to give while Nina makes a risky move. Plus, Portia makes an announcement that's sure to turn heads. This is going to be an action-packed week in Port Charles that you will not want to miss. Please note, GH airs an encore episode on Monday, September 1st, Labor Day. Episode 15787. AIR date, Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. A shocking act of violence occurs. Carly issues a warning. Michael is dismayed. Elizabeth advocates for Willow. Sonny delivers grim news. Episode 15788. Air date, Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Michael confides in Brooklyn. Lucas cautions Liz. Anna and Dante respond to a 911 call. Portia makes an announcement. Episode 15789. AIR date, Thursday, September 4th, 2025. News of a crime sends shockwaves through Port Charles. Anna and Chase interview suspects. Trina is shaken. Nina makes a risky move. Curtis confides in Jordan. Episode 15790. Date, Friday, September 5th, 2025. Jason is shocked. Jocelyn and Vaughn fear for their lives. Brennan manipulates Anna. Alexis is floored. Michael gets new intel. General Hospital spoiler suggests that Drew Kane has turned to legal forces to carry out his vendetta against Stella Henry. Will Stella suffer another stroke because of Drew's actions? Drew has targeted Stella in an effort to make Curtis Ashford pay. Stella is under investigation for medical insurance fraud. Stella helped Martin Gray make sure that he was covered by insurance at the hospital. Drew knew this and had Stella arrested. Once Stella is taken into custody, she will obviously feel the stress building, and Stella may have blood pressure issues that clue them into a possible stroke. Stella will continue to be more anxious as the week moves on, leading to a possible visit to the hospital. Stella had a stroke once before, and she very well could have another as her stress level continues to rise thanks to her arrest, and the embarrassment caused at its seed by this unnecessary treatment because Drew is upset with Curtis. Stella could have a major crisis because of this that could end her right back in the hospital. Stella could have chest pains or even a heart attack due to all of this stress. Stella's life could truly end up on the line after everything that has gone down over Stella, doing nothing but her job, helping someone in need. Curtis, Portia Robinson, Trina Robinson, and even Kai Taylor will be furious with Drew for his part in Stella's health crisis. Martin may find himself in front of a firing squad as well. After all, Martin was the one who gave him every bit of ammunition that he has against Stella. Drew certainly went too far by involving Stella in this tug-of-war with Curtis. Drew doesn't like anyone stepping on his toes, and he has to use their family, he will. Drew may find himself paying a very big price for everything he has done. Poor Stella may never be the same if she has a stroke from all of this stress. Stella may be facing some serious charges, but she could also be facing some very serious health issues. Stella is just an old lady who tries to do her job and move on with it. Stella may be facing a very long recovery time before she ends up in jail. However, she may be facing some extremely serious charges. Spoilers suggest a few more curveballs still to come. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!